MrsZeoxin and welcome back. Today we are doing a Sims 4 speed build. I decided that I wanted to do a fall speed build. It's been kind of difficult because I want to do all these spooky ones, but it's kind of hard to come up with good ideas for them. Last week I wanted to do Monster House, like the house from Monster House, but the issue with that was it's kind of hard to find floor plans and things of that nature for it. So it was kind of difficult and I wasn't able to do it, which really bummed me out and I just wasn't sure what to do. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to try doing a pumpkin patch build, which I wasn't really sure how that was going to work because there isn't really the right kind of stuff in The Sims 4 to build a pumpkin patch. Now, I'm not the only one who's done this. There's countless other people on YouTube who have done this. So you can be sure to check them out if that's something you're interested in. But I also know that there are packs and like CC packs, not real game packs. But like there's lots of custom content you can find online that have barn stuff, pumpkin patch stuff, fall stuff, like all these things. But I don't use CC in my game for the most part. Right now, no mods, no CC, no nothing. And that's just because sometimes I just get so swamped with having the stuff in there and then it causes all these glitches and bugs. And it's annoying and I can never figure out what's doing what. And so I just purge it, you know, and I've enjoyed it. And since starting the YouTube channel, I have yet to re-download any mods or CC. Nothing against it, it's just I like having base game in the game and so that I can build and make things in the game that's doable because, you know, mods and CC are constantly changing. Sometimes it's really hard to track it down. Sometimes I don't remember where I get stuff from or I don't know who to get it from and it can be really difficult. Sometimes you go to kind of sketchy sites or stuff to get it and it can be difficult. So I like to offer builds and casts and stuff like that in gameplay that you don't need necessarily mods and things to do, which I think is pretty cool. But this definitely was a challenge because without that, we were definitely limited. I wanted to make a pumpkin patch, but it's also a cafe. I think I ended up calling it the Pumpkin Patch Cafe. And so the idea was there was going to be this cafe in this little barn-shaped house building and a little pumpkin patch outside. And I thought that was a really cute idea. I liked it a lot, but it took me forever to go through all of the Sims stuff because I just wanted to take anything I was even considering using and putting it in the front like yard area of the game build because so many times I will be building something and I'll see something as I'm looking for something else and I'll be like, oh, I want to use that, but I'll wait till I get to the point where I need that and then I'll completely forget where I found it, where it was, anything like that. Like I just completely forget all of that and I don't know where to find it and it's really, really upsetting and I'm like, well shoot, what do I do now? And so I was like, I don't even want to have to deal with that. And that also combined with me having to use the debug menu meant I needed to have anything I was even remotely considering using out on screen ready for me to find and use and stuff like that. So that's what I did. It's which makes this beginning part a little crazy and hectic because you're like, wow, that's just a lot of random stuff. Yes it is, but it gets better, I promise. It just took me a really, really long time to find everything. This build took me 4.5 hours, I believe, if I remember correctly, to do, which is really, really long for me, especially because it's a relatively simple build. It's not like it's crazy or anything. The part that took me the longest actually was just the pumpkin patch because figuring out the mechanics and where I wanted everything, it was just a lot. It was really hard for me to figure out where I wanted everything and how I wanted the layout for it to be. It was difficult. Because I wasn't really sure. I didn't want to have a huge lot, so I got this kind of big lot. I think it's a 40 by 30, but it was still, even with that, it was difficult to figure out where everything should be, where everything should go. There isn't barn stuff. That was my biggest complaint while building it, honestly. It's just that there wasn't stuff for farms on the game. Like, there isn't. There's no, anything like that. So, it does make it pretty difficult to do it, because it's like you're building a barn, but there's no barn doors. The paint isn't really farm paint. The pumpkin patch part, there's no hay, there's no straw, there's no bales, there's nothing you can use that is like farmy. And pumpkin patches are typically on farms and ran by farmers. Not all the time, but a lot of the ones are. And so it is definitely difficult to build a pumpkin patch when there is no farming stuff. And I know a lot of people want a farming pack or update for The Sims. And honestly, I don't know if that's something I personally would want for the game, but I do think in this instance it would have been pretty cool just to have, even if it's not a game pack, but just to have like build stuff that is for farms. But honestly, there's a lot of things I could say would be really cool in The Sims, and maybe I still want them, but it's just, it's difficult. I think if they do ever release one of those like either monster, paranormal, supernatural, Grim Reaper kind of packs, that would be really cool, because I would love to have more monsters in the game. Right now we really only have aliens and vampires, well, and then mermaids. But I mean, out as far as monsters go, you don't really consider, or at least maybe you do, I don't really consider aliens to be monsters, and it's kind of hard to make the mermaids scary in The Sims. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but it's just like, I'd like to have more options for more supernatural, paranormal elements of the game. I think that would be cool, but that's because that's what I'm interested in. But there's a lot that could be added to this game. I digress. I'm not going to go into all that, because that would take forever. But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. I've also never built a cafe in The Sims before, and I didn't really know how the requirements and stuff for it worked, because I have only done restaurants in the game. I haven't done cafe, and so it was interesting trying to figure out how that works in the game and all the stuff for it. And I did have some slight setbacks with trying to meet all the cafe requirements, because you'll see it, but I ended up putting picnic tables on the inside because I feel like it's a pumpkin patch. There's usually picnic tables. I cannot talk today. Oh my goodness. But usually, I usually see picnic tables there. I don't see normal dining tables. I'm sure there are some, but the ones I've been to, they typically have picnic tables. And so, and plus it's cute and it's rustic and it's fun. And so that's what I put in there. But those don't count as seats, and you need at least 6 seats. And I was like, okay, well, what am I gonna do? And I don't think it can just be any seat. I think it has to be like dining room seats. So did put a little bit of a damper on things, but I ended up doing 3 computer seats, because in cafes I think it's nice to have a computer area to work on, like to work at. And so there's 3 chairs there, and then I think I put another 3 in the corner just to meet the requirement. And it could be, well, if you just want to sit in the corner. And then I left a lot of space. I know there's a lot of empty space, but that's on purpose, because I wanted there to be room to dance and walk around, and if it's crowded, then you don't want to have everything just jam-packed together, you know? And so there's some space for people to walk around and for dancing and things of that nature. There are little speakers throughout the shop, and they all play spooky music, so like Halloween music. I thought it was fun. I gave it more of a Halloween vibe than a fall vibe, and I know pumpkin patches are fall, but I still associate them with Halloween, because pumpkins remind me of Halloween. Not just fall in general, but they remind me of Halloween. And so, because, yeah, I don't know. The October part of fall, like, end of, like, mid-September to Halloween is a completely different part of fall in my head than November to December is. Like, to me, those are 2 completely different parts of fall. You have the first part of fall that's, like, spooky season, creepy, cold weather is like just kind of, you're going between scorching hot days and really chilly days, and debating whether or not to get out your cold clothes, and pumpkins and bats and creatures and scary movies and just getting in the fall vibes. And then you have the second half, which is more like, oh wow, now weather is actually cold. I don't ever want to leave my house because it's freezing. I'm not a cold weather person. And then, like, oh, fall leaves. Oh, like fall fruits and vegetables other than pumpkins. Turkey, ham, Thanksgiving. The spirit of giving and family and friends and like cozy times inside by the fire and like low-key already ready for Christmas. Although I do love Thanksgiving. I know not every country celebrates Thanksgiving, obviously, but I love Thanksgiving. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm American, so I do celebrate it in November. I think Canadian Thanksgiving is, I want to say October, but it might actually be December, November. December. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when it is. Sorry if you're from there and you're like, oh, lovely. I don't know. I just know it's not the same time as American Thanksgiving. But I love Thanksgiving because I love to cook, and I love cooking with my family, and I love getting together and getting to see all my distant family that I don't see most of the year, and it's a fun time. But yeah, so to me those are two completely different seasons, because I'm not thinking pumpkins when I'm thinking Thanksgiving in November. And Thanksgiving in November, I'm like, okay, well, you're already getting a Christmas tree. You're kind of in the mood for Christmas, but you're still in that, like, giving, loving family thing. Like, for me, November is, like, the family and friend time of year. Like, you still got the fall leaves, you still got the change of seasons, but you're getting ready for Christmas. But you're not quite there yet. You're not quite listening to Christmas music. You're just kind of in the mood. But you're still liking the, like, fall, and the change of the leaves, and the, what do you call it? What's that kind of basket called? Like, the one that's on, man, I can't think of what it's called. Those little things. Hold on, let me see if I can figure out what it is. Cornucopia? Yeah, that. Those things. Fruits, veggies, squash. I would say it's more of a squash season than it would be a pumpkin season at that point. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I don't know. To me, the October part of fall is very different than the November part of fall. But yeah. Sorry, that's a long tangent. All to say, when I think pumpkin patches, I think of Halloween. So, it is definitely more Halloween themed. I get pumpkin carving stations because I wanted kids and teens to be able to carve pumpkins. I have like a little display area with all these jack-o'-lanterns, supposedly of people who've come and have made things. I gave some like little dirt paths. There's a little bonfire area because you're enjoying the colder weather. Those are the pumpkins for carving stations. I got a little candy bucket, so you can come and get candy, mainly for the little kids. There's a little swing set and ball pit in the back corner for people to go and, like, the little kids to go and play, and lots of piles of leaves to play in, and tables outside, lots of photo opportunities with all the trucks and the plants. There's also an outdoor bathroom. And yeah, and then there's the pumpkin patch, which took me a while. I am pretty proud of what I did with the pumpkin patch. I thought it was pretty cute. I gave it a cute little fenced area with this really cute metal fence, and then I put like a little soft layer of dirt, just gently brushing. It's like almost as if you're doing eyeshadow, just very gently scratching the ground, just to barely put a little bit of dirt on, because usually when there's a fence underneath it, it's not flat grass, or at least where I live, there's usually some mud. And then I put a whole bunch of the prettier pumpkins out front because I was a little scared that the pumpkin patch wasn't going to turn out very good, but then I liked it, so I kept it. And then the pumpkin patch. I went back and forth on what to do for the pumpkin patch. I was like, should I have a path? Should I just have grass? Should I have dirt? What should I do? I wasn't sure, especially because without the straw and hay bales, like, that's what I always see pumpkins on. But I was like, no, we're going to have pumpkins growing from the ground. So that's what I did. You have pumpkins on the ground, and they're in this little muddy area. One of the struggles with this, and you'll see in like a second, I go to put leaves for the pumpkins, because pumpkins are attached to like stems and leaves, but the leaves are on the ground, so the pumpkin, it's still on the ground. It doesn't grow from a tree or a bush. It grows from the stems of these like kind of vine, almost like low leaves. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'll put a picture on the screen right now so you can see what I mean. But I imagined them to have like I wanted that in the game, even though these are clearly already harvested pumpkins, but still. And those pumpkins usually have yellow flowers, from what I remember. And again, I'll see if I can put some pictures on the screen. But I remember them having flowers, because I had a pumpkin plant once. It died pretty soon, because nothing lives in Texas. Or things do, but you have to be a much better gardener than I am, or any of my parents are. And so everything that we ever had died. I think the thing we had lived the longest was an avocado tree, and that also, the Texas sun, killed it. Just straight up slaughtered the poor plant. But, yeah, I chose these ones because it had little yellow flowers, and it's leafy, and it reminded me of it. But then I was like, oh, no, maybe there's an easier one. I was dumb, because then I just wasted all this work for nothing, because, no, the other one was better. So, yeah, this is probably what took me the longest. Not even probably, this is what took me the longest, was just organizing all of the little pumpkins meticulously with every little detail. Just going in, moving everything just so, having the pumpkins appear up just the right way, everything so, like, detail-oriented, very, very meticulously, but it took so long. Like, oh my, 4.5 hours. Like, that is so long. And usually, even when I have longer builds, it's not even because I'm being, like, this meticulous. But this was, like, straight up just being very meticulous. Like, oh my gosh, it just took so long. But I do think it ended up looking pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. Is it the best pumpkin patch out there? No, but I don't claim my builds are going to be the best, most groundbreaking Sims builds you'll ever see, because there are some talented builders, and who knows, maybe you're one of them, but there are some really wickedly talented Sim builders out there, and I, like, so cool, like, especially the ones that are able to put, like, the mountains, and the deep cuts in the ground, and all that stuff, like, and they can make, like, these, like, warp the world, like, oh my god. It's so cool, but I have no clue how you do that. I could not do that. One, I'm not that creative, but two, I just don't know how you do that. Like, I don't know. Like, some people are just really, really talented. And so, even if mine's not the most creative, I'm proud of it, because for me, this was a good job. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do. It's not good to compare yourself to others, because you're not others. Like, you're going to be yourself, and they're going to be themselves, and there's nothing you can really do about it, you know? So why compare yourself to them? Doesn't make any sense. As long as you're proud of what you did, and you're proud of the work you've done, that's good. And you should be. Like, don't compare yourself to others. Like, it's just not a fair comparison. So, but yeah. Sorry, I just got all, what do you call it, motivational speaker on you guys, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it though. It was cool. I enjoyed it. It got me in the mood for fall. Makes me want to go to a pumpkin patch, but I live in the middle of nowhere right now, so there's no pumpkin patches nearby. I think the closest one is like an hour drive away from me, and I don't want to drive an hour by myself to go to a pumpkin patch and be there all by myself. It's just not the same if you can't go with friends and family. For me, because I love my friends and family, and I love being around them, so it's just kind of depressing going and then no one else is there, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, this is me just putting some little finishing touches on everything, like dirt and just floor design. Just like, I remembered I needed some menus and stuff, but yeah, it's just finishing touches, like very small, minute little details I'm just going back and trying to fix. I put dirt underneath the swings, because that is what happens. I've never seen a swing that does not have like a deep, like, canyon forming underneath it, carved by the feet of children, just going back and forth on it. If you've seen a swing that doesn't have it, it must be a new swing, because I've never seen a used swing that did not have those, so I had to add them. I don't care if they look bad. That's what happens, okay? And I would put little dents there, but one, I don't know how to do it, and two, I don't think it's accessible by Sims if I did that. But still, that is what happens. The carve holes into the ground with little children's feet, swinging with fast momentum as they go back and forth. I don't make the rules, that's just how it is. But I think we're just about done. I hope you guys liked this video. I enjoyed making it. If you do, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell icon if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Alrighty guys, well I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!